I never thought a single question could shake the very foundation of my life. "Can I ask you something personal?" he whispered, almost too softly to hear. His voice wasn't afraid. It was heavy, like he was carrying more than just curiosity. I glanced up from the magazine I'd been idly flipping through at the kitchen table. There was something in his eyes I hadn't noticed before. Vulnerability, or maybe something I wasn't ready to name. "Of course," I said, not knowing that my answer would echo inside me for weeks. He gripped his water glass tighter, still untouched. Then, after a pause, "How do you know when you're ready for your first time?" He couldn't meet my eyes. He stared at the glass, at the droplets trailing down its sides. The air shifted, not dramatically, but just enough that I felt it in my chest. I swallowed, trying to act natural. "You thinking about someone?" I asked, keeping my tone light. He shrugged, but the flush in his cheeks spoke for him. "Not really. I mean, not anyone specific. I just don't want it to be meaningless, you know?" I nodded, unsure how deep he wanted to go, or how much I could let myself feel. "It's different for everyone," I said carefully. "But the fact that you're asking might mean you're not quite ready." It was the safe answer, the kind meant to end a conversation, not open a door. But when he looked at me again, really looked at me, I felt it, the weight of things unsaid. I had noticed it before. How long his hugs lasted, the softness in his voice when it was just the two of us talking late into the night. I'd buried those moments under the idea that I was just being protective, maternal. But in that moment, I knew. I excused myself to the laundry room, heart thudding, not out of fear, but confusion. Because what shook me the most was that I didn't feel disturbed. I felt seen, and that terrified me. That night I couldn't sleep. His words, his tone, the trust behind them, they echoed. He saw something in me I wasn't ready to face. He wasn't my son, not biologically. He was my husband's son from a previous marriage. He'd been living with us for nearly 2 years. Over time, we'd grown close, easily, naturally. I became a safe space when his father was emotionally absent. What began as casual talks about homework and friends turned into deeper conversations, music, books, the overwhelming noise of the world. I found myself looking forward to them, not like a mother eager to bond with her stepson, but like someone who craved being understood. My own marriage had been hollow for years. No laughter, no intimacy. My husband was always working late, detached. We hadn't touched in months. So when his son started noticing the little things, my mood, my new haircut, the nights I forgot to eat, I felt something stir inside me, something I thought had long since died. Still, I told myself it was innocent, that I was just filling the role his father never did, until that night. His question wasn't about sex. Not really. It was about connection. And for a brief moment, I saw myself in him, my younger self, lost, searching for what love was supposed to feel like. That was when I realized I was the one who had crossed a line, not with my hands, but with my heart. In the days that followed, everything changed, subtly. Every glance, every shared silence felt loaded. I tried to avoid being alone with him, but somehow we kept ending up in the same space. Quiet breakfasts, late-night dishes, movies we barely watched. Then one evening, he spoke again. "I didn't mean to make things weird," he said. "I just didn't know who else to ask." "It's not weird," I replied, and I meant it. "You trusted me. That means something." He smiled, and I hated how much that smile warmed something in me. Something I was trying to bury. I kept telling myself I was just being kind, just supportive. But the truth was, I liked being seen that way. Valued, noticed. I hadn't felt that in so long. My husband hadn't truly seen me in years. He'd flirted with others, made excuses, and eventually, our marriage became nothing more than routine silence. But his son saw me, and I saw him. Not just as a boy, but as someone growing, tender, curious. And he looked to me, not as a mother, not anymore, but as someone who mattered. One night he asked me, Do you think it's possible to want something and still know it's wrong? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. We both knew the truth behind the silence. We never acted on anything, never named it, but the connection lived between us, heavy and unspoken. Then came the night he knocked on my door, just past bedtime, just late enough to make my breath hitch. I just wanted to say goodnight, he said softly. I opened the door. He stood there, caught between boy and man. I can't sleep, he admitted. Without thinking, I let him in. He sat at the edge of the bed. I sat across from him. I feel stupid, he said, like I ruined things. You didn't, I whispered. That